Hello, welcome back to Up the Villa. If you are new to the channel, make sure you are subscribing, smash the likes and comment your thoughts in the comment section down below. Joined again by Earl. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you.
I think it's time to talk about Kamara a little bit. And we heard during the transfer window that Kamara was going to be getting a new deal. He was going to be signing a new deal. He's got just over 2 years left on his contract. Am I getting squeaky bum time or not? Probably not at that stage yet. But how are you feeling that he's not signed this deal yet? And what I hope happens is that when we release this episode, a couple of days later, there's news that he's going to sign a deal. So you can all thank me later if that's what happens. But how are you feeling about Kamara and this deal situation?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's decision time, really, isn't it? Comes down to the last 2 years of a player's contracts. That's the real decision time. Whether they're going to stay longer term, or you have to potentially look at them moving on. So hopefully he'll stay, in my opinion. But yeah, we'll see what happens. You
are right. I do feel like this 2-year phase, it feels very important, doesn't it, for a footballer? Because I think what you end up having happen is that while they've got 2 years, it's still like a decent amount of time, isn't it? That his value is a lot higher. The minute he starts dropping into that sort of like a year and 7 months, so you start getting towards the situation that he was in when he was at Marseille. And I see a little bit online, and I don't know where I stand on this. The fact that he's done it before, his contract ran down, and then that's how he got his move to Villa. Do you feel like that could happen again here, or do you think we would get him to sign a deal anyway? That's what I'm sort of thinking.
Well, for me, I don't think you can. I don't think Villa, especially, we're hearing about PSR and these kind of things every year, aren't we? So I don't think we can afford to let a player like Kamara leave for free. So it comes down to me is we sign a new contract or we look to sell him, to put it short.
Which is something that we don't want to do.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is with Kamara as well, is that I just feel like I'd love to just have a full season from him, because he's had a lot. He has had a lot of injuries, hasn't he? That some of these injuries take him out for, say, 6 or 7, 9, 8 weeks, and I'd really like to see him, especially next season, have a season where he's like fully fit for the whole thing, and I think we'll do so well, because for me, like, I mean, if you go through our team and you look at sort of like the players that have to be here long-term, core players, Rodgers, Kamara's like that next player, really, that's so important to the way that we play. And the team needs to really be built around him because of what he actually offers this team. So for me, I want to see him playing a lot more games for Villa, and just getting that contract signed, really, because his wages probably deserve to go up, because I don't think he hasn't signed an extension since he got here, has he?
I don't think so, no. But yeah, I think the point you make about the injuries is quite important. Well, he's played a good amount of games, most seasons, but we're not getting the full amount out of him that I think we could be. I mean, it's no fault of his own. If you get injured, you get injured, don't you? And I feel like he's always kind of come back a little bit quicker than expected for most of those injuries as well. So you've got to say fair play to him for that, and because obviously you've got to be dedicated to come back from these kind of injuries. But it's such an important position, defensive midfield, and it's such a highly coveted position. There's not that many, good defensive midfielders out there, so it puts a premium, it puts the price up on these kind of players. So if you lose a player like Kamara, it's you got to pay to replace them as well, and that's you'd be paying a lot to replace a player like Kamara.
I mean, I see on social media, like, content creators do these lists of like who's each club's most like not underrated within your own fan base, but like underrated within like the football world. And like Kamara is so important. And even when I do opposition like previews with other channels and stuff, and they're like, "Who's your best player?" and I'll be like Kamara, and they're like, "Really, Kamara? Not like, I don't know, so and so." And I'm like, no, like what he does for us is like just so important. And Villa, we're at Dubai now, so we're on a training camp. There's a lot of players that have gone on it, and a lot of players that have gone on international duty, and it does feel like a good time for some of them. Asensio, Onana, those two in particular, to just get back ready, fit, and be able to attack this next part of the season. And there's a player I just want to touch on with you, and Onana, and the fact that I think he's had a tough season with injuries, and a tough season with like these niggly injuries where he comes back, he breaks down again, he comes back, he breaks down, and I think Onana is such a big player for us, and I think we've only probably seen like 40% of what he can deliver at Villa. When he first came in, we loved him. He was scoring goals, he was playing well, and then the injuries started to hit, and I think that's why his form probably dropped off a little bit, because he just can't trust his body. And he's done the interview saying that he was playing through an injury, and then he sort of come back, and he got injured again, and that he had to sort of like put himself in the team because we had a lot of injuries. So this little break now of him being able to go to Dubai, get sharper, come back and be that big option for Villa against PSG in the last 9 games of the season, I feel like there's so much more to come from him. And I remember when we did the episodes about him joining Villa, and we were buzzing, weren't we, of what we could get. And yeah, I just feel like the injuries have been a bit of a stumbling block for him. But how are you feeling about Onana and coming back to sort of full fitness?
Yeah, well, I just agree with what you say, to be honest. I think I don't think we've seen, we've seen good things from Onana, but I don't think we've seen everything that he could be. I think he's got a lot of room to grow, and I think because he's been around for quite a while. He might seem a bit older than he is as well, but I think he's still got a lot of unrealized potential that he can get a lot better. But he needs to be fit. He needs to be playing games in order to get better. So probably similar to Kamara, where there's, and I think looking back, Everton fans will probably say the same thing about Onana. To be honest, where it's just that need a bit more availability from him.
Yeah, he's a little bit like an Elka, isn't he? That the fact that like you look at him and you're like, God, shouldn't you be about 45 by now? And he's like 25 or 26. So yeah, so I just think that what I think's happened with Onana is that at some point we've rushed him back, and he's played through a niggle, and he's ended up, we've made it worse, and then it's just been sort of like a situation that's just not great for Villa, because we had Onana out, we had Kamara out, we had Barkley out, and then we've only got sort of like McGinn and Tielemans, and you start getting like really stretched in there. So it feels
like Boubacar in there as well, to be fair, though. Can't forget about Boubacar.
Yeah, he's done. I mean, he's another one that this season has, he's done so well under the radar, really. He's been absolutely everywhere, hasn't he? He's probably been in the
Yeah.
canteen serving up dinner at some point because he's that versatile. But yeah, I mean, touching on him then, does he have a future at Villa, or do you think he will be moved on?
I think he absolutely does have a future at Villa, Bogard. I think we hear Emery talking about it a lot, about how he likes players that can do, multiple roles. Who are just good footballers essentially. And I think Bogard is one of them players. I think at the start of the season, it was all a bit nervous around him. I know fans were getting a bit nervous. He was at right back, and maybe he looked a bit shaky at times, but that's all just huge experience, and he's come on leaps and bounds from that. And I think whenever he's gets put in now, I'm completely relaxed and feel like he can do a job anywhere. We've seen him at right back, we've seen him at centre back, we've seen him in midfield. So I think players like that within the squad will always have a place.
Yeah, and it is the international break, which is so dry. But I mean, we've got a lot of good things to look forward to, and I think in the back of my head, I'm sort of, when I've touched on Onana, I've touched on Asensio. He's been playing within some sort of knock, etc. Pau getting back, the boys, sunshine, feeling good. Hopefully he's going to be like 100%. And yeah, hopefully everybody that's on international duty sort of like comes back really healthy. It's been a while since I've sort of spoke to you on here. So, when they do come back, it's sort of Preston quarterfinal. We've got massive games in the Premier League. We've got Champions League. What are you sort of like expecting from this next phase of our season? Like, what's your, and this will be interesting in the comments then as well, what's your bare minimum achievement for Villa this season with what's left to come?
Well, what I'm hoping to see, it just comes down to one word, and that's consistency. Consistency it's absolutely key. I think in the Premier League, yeah, well, in the Premier League, it's so tight between all of the teams, and I think all it will take is just a bit of consistency, and it's going to be difficult. We've not got any easy games really coming up.
I think that suits us though. I think that suits us. I think.
Yeah, I think it does, because you've got that end goal in sight. Everyone's completely locked in. There's no room for complacency, because it's going to be a game every week or midweek as well. And we've got a lot to play for. We've got a lot to play for. So yeah, consistency though. Consistency, please.
I'm not gonna lie. I was watching Newcastle, and I think fair play to them. Absolutely fair play to them for winning. But it made me just think, God, Villa, this FA Cup, we've got to get to the final. Like we've just got to get there and give ourselves a chance, because I was looking at it over the weekend, and I was thinking, when Emery gets to finals, he delivers. Like, we just need to get there. And okay, I'm not discrediting Preston. Like, fair enough, Preston Championship team, but we should be beating them. And then you're at Wembley, and I'll back it. Who we got to play in that? I'll back us to beat anyone that's left in that. I mean, are you sort of like dreaming of the FA Cup a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Talk about consistency. We've not been very consistent, but what we are is a team who can beat. I feel like we could beat anyone on our day, and that lends itself to cup football, I guess. So, on a one-off occasion, we can win games. So why not win it? Watch Newcastle winning that Carabao Cup, and yeah, fair play to them. You could see what it meant, and it would be similar for us. It'd be so huge.
How do you think we'd do in a final?
I think we do well.
Do you?
Yeah, like you say, we've got the manager who's fully used to it. The recruitment that we've done. We've brought in players who are used to those big games. Rashford, he scored in the final last year. Asensio, the things that he's won. Marlon as well, available in the FA Cup. So, and then we've got the core existing players who they've got a lot of experience as a group as well. Getting to the I know we didn't go on and win it. We got to the latter stages of the Conference League last year. So, yeah, why not? Why not?
It just gets me excited, when I think about that. I don't know what. I don't know whether it's because I've just got a funny feeling about this FA Cup that I think we could do something now. Really do. But you've got to believe, haven't you? Because if you don't, then what's the point in supporting your team if you don't fancy your chances? So, Earl, thank you for coming on, mate. Up the Villa.